Hi, I am Kajer on two wheels and we are gathered here today to test ride the Kawasaki Z125. So the new 2019 Kawasaki Z125. If you don't like the Honda looks, which looks kinda retro and young kids will probably not quite enjoy it, this looks awesome. This is a very young looking bike. Look, it's even got rim tape already built in. Everything here is stock, 100% stock, including this pad to protect the tank and this pad to protect the tank. 100% stock machine. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. This is a very, very good looking 125. Now, looks aside, let's go front to back. Oh, this is a 5,000 euro 125. Okay, so this is the premium ones. Quick front to back. So my first gripe with this bike is that the front tire is a 100 with tire at the front with 17-inch rims, a bit thinner than the competition. I would much prefer to have a 120 at the front for, well, I like the big tires because it's psychologically gives me safety. This is a 100, and the rear one, it's not a 160, doesn't look like it. It is a let's tilt it a bit so I can rotate the tire and the car. It is a 130-inch rim, 130 with 17-inch rim at the rear. So these are much thinner than the usual competition. Psychologically, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I prefer the big fat tires. But if you look at the bike, which is quite thin, this tire fits it. Maybe a thicker one would look weird. But that's just a small gripe. That's not big issue. You've got ABS at the front and at the rear, obviously. You've got halogen indicators. Seriously, Kawasaki, it's 2019. And unfortunately, a halogen headlamp, which is an H4, one of those with the two filaments. Kawasaki. Oh, and you even have a halogen, this one, we call it the presence light, the lower than the low beams, the one that just tells you that the bike is on. So everything here is halogen. You have no LEDs anywhere, which sucks. Kawasaki, 5,000 euro machine, come on, 2019, get your act together. We could use LEDs here and here and here, everywhere. So please tell me there are LEDs at the rear at least, not on the indicators and not on the tail light. So there are exactly 0 LEDs on this machine in total. Get your act together, Kawasaki. But it does look great. Okay, continuing back, you have your standard 125 engine producing the 15 max horsepower it can, or actually 14.8. That's top engine for this. Can't go any further or else it wouldn't fit the A1 class license. You've got the rubberized foot pegs for comfort, to prevent the vibration from going up your legs. You have minimal foot pads for your pillion. This exhaust protector, when you put your feet here, you actually touch this, so this will get scuffed. So that's why it's already pre-scuffed aluminium. They call it brushed aluminium, but that's the point. So this will protect your boot from melting. You have a big exhaust because of Euro 4, but it doesn't look bad. It actually looks kind of cool. That was a Ferrari. You've got your normal chain, your absolutely normal squared swing arm, and that's just about it. Now, another issue with this bike, I've been riding it obviously because I had to take it here, is this. Let's turn it on. And you've got a dash which is very small. To put it mildly simple, you have your rev counter. When I have to start with saying that it's got a rev counter, it's a bad sign. You've got your speedo, another bad sign. You've got an odometer and a clock. And if you press these magic buttons, searching for the fuel gauge something, where's the button? These gloves don't help. Oh. So you've got trip A, you've got trip B, you've got the total odometer, and that's about all you've got. So you've got a dash. You don't even have an onboard computer on the 5,000 euro machine, which is competing with the CB125R and the MT125. Kawasaki, get your act together. That's not good. That is seriously fucked up. So this gets me wondering, what the hell? What am I paying for? You've got normal suspension at the front. It's not adjustable. It's not a Showa suspension. But perfectly normal suspension. This one has an external reservoir here, but it's not adjustable, or not easily adjustable. It's the normal one. Actually, how the hell am I going to adjust that? Because it's in a really weird position. So why 5,000? Let's see how it rides. So, first impressions when you get on this bike. As soon as you put your foot up, you notice that you're quite cramped. It's a very small bike. I am 1.74 meters tall and my knees are nearly horizontal. It's a very sporty riding position. Another little thing you'll notice right off the bat is that the bike doesn't go. Period. I'm going to start in first gear. Can I go? I'm gonna go. Hang on. That was a full throttle acceleration. I'm going to do it again. Here is full throttle. Actually no, I'm going slowly because I don't know how to ride this bike. Okay, I see there's no one behind me. Shoulder check, let's full throttle. Very little happens. Even worse, I'm in second gear. I've just ran into a roundabout, so I slow down to say 20. I do the roundabout. Now I want to exit the roundabout. Let's go full throttle. Nothing much happens. Let's go again. I'm at 20. Okay, full throttle. Nothing. Still nothing. Hello. And it wakes up. So here's the problem. Under 4,000 RPM, this bike has no power. Not a little, not less, no power. It does not go at all. My cat has more pulling power than this bike under 4,000 RPM. It sucks. The power is all over 4.5 and most of it over 6.5. So this rides like a two-stroke. And if you ride this engine like a two-stroke, it is great. Then it is great. All the power and torque is focused up on top, and so there's a lot of it up on top. And it is quite fast. And on these fast bends, look, I'm doing 92. When I did this on the Forza or on the X300, the last 125s I tested, granted they are scooters, they were getting bent all out of shape at this speed here. They just couldn't do it. Notice this engine is 70 kilometers old. 70, not 700, 70. So it's still very stiff. I'm giving it quite a trashing. So this is way worse than it should be. In fact, now it's much better than when I picked it up when it had like 6 kilometers, 7. So it is improving this feature of no power at low revs. It's getting looser. I can feel it going looser. See? Come on, come on, come on, baby. Even for 125, this is a bit weak. But on high revs, it is a bit strong for 125. It's a balance. And on these fast bends, this just goes marvelously. Stable for a 125. There's always a bit of wobbliness because I weigh more than half of the bike, so it's never going to be very stable with me pushing the center of gravity almost out of the bike, pushing it up almost out of the bike because I'm very heavy. But this weighs what, 140 something kilograms, and I weigh 100 with the gear, so there's that. But as I showed in the Portuguese channel, if you're riding this bike like this, hear it, you're doing it wrong. Okay, I'm going to try and full throttle. Go, 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 move, the car's coming. Nothing happens. Don't do this. It's just that I'm so used to my low revving Tracer 700 engine, this happens to me a lot on this bike, but I'm getting used to it. Because now you have to shift down into first, and now it goes. No, actually, I mean second, I think. Because there's no freaking gear indicator. Yeah, that was second. Look, did you see the difference as soon as I shifted down? And now I'm going at a decent clip. See the difference? Keep it high up, and it is a marvelous little engine. Keep it low, and it is the most horrible, poor thing you have ever ridden in your life. It's a bit of extremes. It's very Kawasaki-ish, this engine. It really is. It's a very sporty engine that punishes you if you don't ride it sportily. Dude, seriously, can I? Thank you. And you can hear by my voice that I'm in quite a good mood, because this bike brings out good mood. It is that kind of bike. Yes, I had to shift down in the middle of a corner. But this allows you to trash it and throw it in. It's so agile, so light, and so easy to ride. It does a lot of that I need to pin the throttle or I'll lose momentum thing that all 125s have. And I think it just popped and just threw a little backfire, which was fun. Let's try shifting up with no clutch and like semi-out. Let's see if it bumps the rev limiter and it shifts up. And it won't. I tried it on the Portuguese channel on this gear and it doesn't, because it doesn't have enough speed here. Top speed climbing, this is 85. Oh, here we go. No, I have to unroll the throttle. But look, it's full throttle everywhere, and then the bike manages to do it. Now let's see on the slower paced stuff. On the slower paced stuff, it just grabs. Gives you a great feel of the road, this. And it gives you a great feeling of being connected to the road. There's no over the bumps, there's no I think I just flew. It just feels like it's glued down onto the road. It's like you have downforce or something. Yeah, it's exactly the feeling you get from downforce, you know? The tires being squashed against the ground. Whee! Shift down, small brake. Yeah, this feels great. It feels so stable and so correct. And the tank is perfect to hang on off the bike. Not good, just exactly perfect. You can hook up your knee over the you can hook up your knee over the tank and it just feels great. It just feels correct. The bike doesn't go all wobbly when you do that. It doesn't go crazy, it doesn't move around. It just says yes, yes, that's exactly the spot. Do it like that, more. That did not come out right. That was accidental and that did not come out right, but yeah, it is. Pushing this bike on through one of these twisty roads, it is a lot like making love. It is having fun with a partner. Doing what she wants and doing what you want. I understand where the 5,000 euros went. It went for this awesome handling and this awesome sporty handling. It went everything into that. Let's go again. Yeah, let's go. Granted, it is a 125, so don't expect this to go much over 60. if I can keep the throttle completely pinned the whole way up and down. I'll likely have to, or else I'll lose just too much momentum. Ouch, that was not very nice. And a 1, and a 2, no, and a 0, and a 9. Let's hang off and see. It just works marvelously. Losing a bit of speed because this is quite steep, and hit the rev limiter. Come on. 3, 4, limiter. 3, 4. 64 is about the top speed coming up here, which is normal. My RC125 does about these speeds. 15 horsepower only gets you so far. There's no way to fight physics. But it works marvelously on these slow speed corners when you're hanging off the bike. It feels like a little ninja which has crashed and got all its fairings removed. Look at how smooth that was. Just pick a line and go around the corner with it. Granted, the suspension is not adjustable. It doesn't have a big brand name. It is not inverted. But it works marvelously. Feels like the whole suspension is a bit on the stiff side, springs and dampers, which makes it a bit harsh or jolty on bad pavement, but makes it an absolute dream here. See that? That was a harsh one. It doesn't get to be uncomfortable. It's just harsh. But the dampers work well and prevent those jolts that the stiffer springs send up to you. It prevents them from hurting, and it actually works pretty well. Where did you come from? I didn't pass you, or rather you didn't pass me on the way up. Mystery. See, this is a young bloke's bike. It is designed to be a young bloke's bike. It looks like a young bloke's bike, and thanks to this engine high rev quirkiness, it will sound like a young bloke's bike. It's a very young, jovial machine. It's great. It really pumps your adrenaline. It's a 125 that gets your blood running. It's a lot of fun. Actually, it is a lot of fun. It is a very fun machine. Expensive, but such as all premium 125s, it is a very fun machine. And so that explains where your 5,000 euros went. It went all into this wonderful handling, this wonderful agile and stable handling, this fun part of it, and the look. You're paying a lot of dough for the look, which in my opinion is the best looking 125, naked 125 on the market, tied with the Honda, but the Honda is more of a retro look. For example, my son didn't like the Honda. He looked at the Honda and went, nah, this is more kind of like your bike, Dad. And I felt like 90 years old at that moment. But he loved the look on this one. He absolutely adored the look on this bike. So that's a young bloke's machine, okay? So that's what you're paying. This fantastic styling, which you might think, why am I paying for styling? Well, there's a lot of fairings here that aren't really needed, but are here for looks, and those little details kind of pile up. And you're paying for the tests they had surely had to do to make this bike handle this good. This just doesn't come out of the drawing board like this. It had to be tuned and tuned and tuned. So that's what you're paying. If you don't care about having an onboard computer, which is a nice thing to have, but it's not really that important. If you don't care about not having a gear indicator, well, that's a bit more important, but okay. If you don't care about those bells and whistles, this is a great bike for you. If you do care, not that much. because it really doesn't have anything. That's the only very disappointing part, and that's something that Kawasaki should fix very soon, because not having a single LED on this is, well, disappointing. Not even the dashboard has LEDs. It's a backlit liquid crystal display from the 80s dashboards, so from the 90s. So it's like, okay. But then again, when you're riding, you're not looking at the dashboard, and that's the whole point of this bike. It is to ride. It is a rider's bike, first and foremost. It's very Kawasaki-ish, this, actually. And dudes, you are widening your turns like a motherfucker. Don't do that. You're gonna kill a biker if you do that. And this is a bad spot to do this in. That's the problem with 125s. Overtaking becomes a game of chess. I would really like to do these bends faster because I am testing it. By the way, a cookie for anyone who figures out what car is this, because this car looks expensive. It's a classical car, I can see that, but I don't recognize the symbol. Bugatti? What is this? I don't know. It does look great. It seems to handle like a boat, with a hole in the bottom. So this bike allows you to go through with this. On the Portuguese channel I went faster here, and I went as fast here as I go on my Tracer, which is amazing for a bike I've been riding for something like 50 kilometers. Like 93 on this bend, which is what I do on my Tracer. And here I was perfectly comfortable, just like on my Tracer, which is amazing. Again, I have my own bike for 2 years, and I have this one for a few hours, and I can do nearly the same comfortably, which is pretty impressive, to be honest. And this will make you go at these, not speeds, but pace. You'll keep going fast and fast and fast, because the engine requires revs to move, and so you need to keep up the momentum, and so you don't want to lose momentum, and so you brake for nobody. It is a young bloke's bike. It is a hooligan machine, yes, but it is also a 125 with its limitations. But for a young bloke coming in from a 50cc, this is freaking paradise. And I have the nagging feeling this will be extremely popular with the younger generation. 17-year-old or 16-year-old on this will feel like the king of the world. And for daddies and mommies wanting to buy one, this has ABS, so it will keep your young one safe. At least until he manages to do some bend he doesn't too fast and manages to wrap himself around the pole, but that comes with, well, let's call that educational. Two things about this engine. If you're thinking that it's too slow, the three things: one, it's a 125. Again, I'll have to stress this a ton of times. Two, I am 93 kilograms, so I'm a bit overweight, so the bike has to struggle with that on acceleration. Three, this engine is now 90 kilometers old, not 90, so it is quite stiff. After the trashing I gave it, it feels miles better. Okay, so that's why there's not that much performance. At the moment I probably don't have 15 horsepower, I must have around 12 or 13, and it'll get better as it gets run in. No, broken in. Yes, that's the spirit. Sorry. And if you think I'm ruining the engine by doing this kind of trashing on it on a brand new bike, I will explain. That will do nothing bad to the engine at all. And if you think I'm lying, I put my money where my mouth is, and I bought the very test machine I trashed mercilessly when it was absolutely brand new. My own Tracer was the machine I did a test ride on. That was a test ride machine for that dealership, and that bike was basically rev limiting from kilometer 0, and I bought that one and I've had no issues. Okay, my chain probably is dying at 28,000 kilometers, and maybe so that's perhaps a bit soon due to all the wheelies it probably did at the beginning. But other than that, and that was a harsh life for a brand new bike, it's fine. So this will be fine for this bike, as long as you don't completely overdo it like a maniac, especially when the engine's stone cold. It'll be fine. So yeah, this is I just want to overtake this. I don't want to show you a video of looking at the rear of a freaking Volkswagen Transporter. Much better scenery instead of the ass of a car. So yeah, this is the Kawasaki Z125. Big thanks to Ramemoto for the lending of this bike for a whole weekend. It's just the way they work. They give it to me for the whole weekend, and they go, hey, are you sure you don't want this for the whole week? I know we have some test rides scheduled, but it's fine, just keep it for the whole week. And I deliver it on Monday, and they go like, already? Don't you want to keep it, say, till Wednesday or something? Those guys are awesome. Okay, so that's basically it. I'll leave you with a top speed run. Thank you, freaking asshole. I will leave you with a top speed run on this beautiful machine. Its top speed is limited to 117 kilometers per hour, which I believe is, hang on, quick math, 70 miles per hour. Point something ish, I think. 71? 71. Not really sure. 70 and very little. 71 perhaps. Don't know. Okay, that's it. Cage around. Top speed. Isto é descer. This is going down. Going up. Speed. And that's the top speed, 116 or 117. Setting the rev limiter.